On the line now from Utica Observer Dispatch. Ron, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Bill.
The picture is now clear.
Yes.
Yeah, sorry.
We're into the playoffs.
Didn't want to I threw you off there. I'm sorry. Into the playoffs, the picture is now clear, and a couple of big wins. Whitesboro with a big win over the weekend, which kind of was expected. That Dowdesville-Frankfort game, though, that was a biggie.
Oh, it was it was a little wild in the second quarter, Bill. I'm not sure if I've ever seen two teams combine for 45 points in one quarter, but
wow.
It was a back and forth first half anyway, and then Dowdesville just took over and dominated in the second half. But the first half so entertaining because Dowdesville right away scores on its first three possessions, and suddenly, I mean, the Blue Devils are up 22-0 in the bat of an eye, really. And it seemed like they were gonna roll right away, and Frankfort comes right back. Ethan Irons throws 3 touchdown passes to Devon Leon in a span of less than 6 minutes, and all of a sudden you turn around and Frankfort's ahead 23-22, and the Dowdesville crowd was a bit stunned at that time, Bill. You can imagine, but then Dowdesville just took advantage of a couple turnovers and scored 2 touchdowns in the last minute and 19, I think it was, before the half, and went up 38-23, and then rolled in the second half. Their offensive line just took over in their running game. They rushed for almost 400 yards. It was 2 different games, really, and Frankfort couldn't stop the run, and early on, Dowdesville couldn't stop the pass, and I have to say that, the running game with Chase Dockstader and Cole Harlow and Devin Goranchuk was just too much for Frankfort in the end. It was a nice hot day, and they just kept hammering away. It was reminiscent a bit of the week before when Dowdesville couldn't stop West Canada Valley from just hammering the ball and pounding away, and this past Saturday it was just the other way around. Yeah. Dowdesville just dominated up front and ran over Frankfort in the second half and won going away 62-23, and to earn a number 1 seed from the Class D East Division. They all finished in a 3-way tie: West Canada, Dowdesville, and Frankfort. But with the tie-breaking system, because they all beat each other,
right? The
tie-breaking system's first half point differential, which made Saturday's second quarter also interesting because Dowdesville had to be ahead by 7 points and win the game, 7 points at the half, and win the game to earn the number 1 seed in the home field playoff game, which they obviously did. So
yeah, well, it's interesting. Class D once again, this area dominating Mount Markham, Frankfort, Schuyler, West Canada Valley, and Dowdesville all competing in the Class D playoffs.
Right, and our division, our Class D division on this half of Section 3, in my opinion, is so good that, let's face it, Dowdesville, it's a wonder they don't beat each other up prior to the playoffs because, let's face it, Dowdesville just had to play back-to-back weekends, state-ranked teams in West Canada Valley and Frankfort, and, lost one, won one, and, now they get a home game. Dowdesville and Frankfort will be at home. Frankfort will be home Friday night against Watertown Immaculate Heart Central, and then Dowdesville will be home Saturday afternoon against Bishop Ludden. So, and the others, West Canada Valley, their reward for making the playoffs and beating Dowdesville, in week 6, they go to Sandy Creek, the defending section champs, who have a running back named Joe Benedict, a great wrestler and a great running back who a couple weeks ago set the state rushing record for a single game, like 460 yards, something like that.
That's going to be a tough
480
game.
yards. So, and that's a rematch. West Canada Valley had to play Sandy Creek twice last year, lost to them in a non-league game, and then met them again in the Dome final and lost. So, but the West Canada's got a lot of seniors who went through that last year. I still give them a very good chance to go on the road Friday night and win in Sandy Creek. And Mount Markham will be on the road, too, against a very good, the only unbeaten Class D team in the section, Onondaga.
Wow.
Mount Markham goes there Friday night. So.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, West Canada and Dowdesville could, if they both win this weekend, could end up with a rematch playing each other in the playoffs.
All right, Bill, you've done your homework. You're absolutely right.
I'm really trying here, Ron. I'm trying to keep up.
Bill.
All right, this is.
What are you, a Valley guy?
And think of that rematch.
No, you're absolutely correct.
Yeah.
And they could meet again. And if you remember, they met in last year's semifinals. I'm a little selfish because I'd love to cover that game again.
Yeah.
But another reason is, the Section 3 semifinals are at neutral sites.
Mm-hmm.
If it's Dowsville, West Canada again, my guess would be somewhere like RFA Stadium, just like last year. So
that would be nice.
That'll be great for local fans if that happens, obviously.
All right, Class C. How about Little Falls getting into the playoffs this year?
I mean, that to me, that's a great success story because 2 years ago they were in the NFF where you opt out of playoff contention to try to rebuild the program.
Yeah.
They're only 2 years removed from that. And what Brian Shepardson has done at Little Falls, he moved Kobe Jackson, the quarterback. They've got some weapons in running back Dalton Cleary and Teddy Schaaf, if you remember, the son of Ted Schaaf, the legendary baseball coach at Little Falls. They've got those kind of running backs. They've got receivers in Todd Hubble and Jason Galt. I really think Shep's done a great job there at Little Falls. They got a home game Saturday. It's a tough matchup against Altamar Parish, Williamstown.
Mm-hmm.
They have a super running back, Jordan Mull. So that's going to be a tough one for them. I still could see Little Falls winning that. They're a third seed, and they get a home playoff game 2 years after being in the NFF. So I think that's great news for Little Falls.
And then Holland Patton is the other in Class C that's made it in. They're a 5 seed.
That's right, and they go on the road to up on the artificial surface in Lowville, a great field up there in Lowville Friday night. Lowville, I believe, only has one loss, so that may be a tough one for Holland Patton, but they've got one of the best players in the area, in my opinion, in Hunter Richard, son of a former Herkimer High and University of Rochester running back, John Richard. Hunter Richard's from wrestling background, two-time state wrestling champion, great running back, great linebacker at Holland Patton. Not very big, but as tough as they come, and I give Holland Patton a great chance to go to Lowville Friday night and win.
Class B, CVA, Central Valley Academy, the Ilion Mohawk Merged District needed a win on Friday night. They got it. They're in the playoffs.
Yeah, they head to Chittenango on Friday night. Very tough matchup, but for Central Valley Academy's sake, I'm hoping they get a couple more guys back from injury. They've been decimated by injuries and sort of limped into the playoffs here. They got to play a one-win Camden team on this past Friday night to get in. And, the Klosners, Adam and Josh, both are great players, super football IQ, let's put it there. Great instincts, especially Adam, I think, as a defensive player is excellent. And, if they get healthy, they could go to Chittenango Friday night and knock the Bears off. And the other Class B team we have still alive is Oneida, and they've got a real tough matchup going to Homer, my wife's alma mater, Friday night. So that's a tough one for Oneida, and they've gone through some injuries too. So
I want to ask you, was Proctor? They were in the running. They were still in the running, right, for the playoffs.
Yeah,
but they
obviously they had to win and get help from other teams, and they didn't get their half of that done for sure. Yeah. But let's face it, they played a great Cicero North Syracuse team that's ranked very high in the state and unbeaten. So, I would say Cicero North Syracuse has a great shot at winning our Class AA title. It may come down to them and CBA. Both are undefeated, but Cicero North Syracuse just too much for Proctor. Yeah. I believe it was 42-22. Proctor again. They could score points, but they just had a hard time in that division. And top to bottom, though, that division that they're in Class AA, extremely tough. And I really did think this was Proctor's year. I thought they had, for a change, the linemen to go with the skill position players, to go with the playmakers, but it just didn't happen. I just have to say they have a couple of great kids. Jamarius Morgan, I think the world of as a football player. He's super, and of course he played the last few games with a cast on his wrist. They'll still have Logan Wilcox coming back next year. Landon Johnson will come back. They'll have some playmakers. They're going to have to come up with some linemen because I think some of their top linemen are seniors. Yep. But and then of course in the other Double-A, I thought Rome Free Academy had a much easier road, let's put it, to the Double-A playoffs. But all they had to do was win at home on senior night against Henniger, and Henniger was too much for RFA. I think RFA again was obviously I wasn't there. I was at Whitesboro, but I think it was turnovers. I think it was 5 turnovers that helped do in RFA on Friday night in a game. If they win, they're in. So
yeah. And finally, Class A, of course, Whitesboro played New Hartford. That big game on Friday night, and Whitesboro is the number 1 seed in Class A.
Yeah, I mean they've been favored, I think, since the start, and it's still. I know I say this almost every week, but I'll be shocked if it's not Whitesboro and East Syracuse Manoa in the finals in Class A again this year. But I have to tell you, I mean, for people who were there, New Hartford gave them a game. It was, if not for turnovers and some special teams play, New Hartford could have been leading that game at the half. To be honest, it was 15-7 Whitesboro. But Whitesboro's series. Four plays, they had to go 10 yards for the first touchdown. Then they block a punt that goes through the end zone. Matt Parkinson pushes the up back into the punt, and it goes through the end zone for a safety. Then Whitesboro recovers a fumble, only has to go 16 yards for their second touchdown. And then in the second half, a penalty gave them the ball right at the New Hartford 20. 4 plays later, they're up 29-7, and they're winning going away. Still, it was one of those usual Whitesboro New Hartford games. So,
all right. And by the way, when's the finals at the Dome? What weekend is that?
Oh my gosh, I don't have that right in front of me.
First weekend in November.
Quarterfinals. So
Section 3.
Section 3
finals.
First weekend in November.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's like first, second, something like that.
Okay, got
around
it.
there.
All right, good deal.
Usually they play a couple on Friday night, and then the 3 others are on Saturday or Sunday.
I've got it here. It's November 5th. It looks like.
Oh, is it? Yeah, I knew it was early November. So,
all right, good stuff.
I just yearly, Bill. I tell my wife, Thanksgiving weekend, if we have a real good team, I'll be covering the states. So
yeah,
don't. So.
Yeah, it just continues on. So, all right, and of course, read all about it in the OD with Ron Moshier. Ron, as always, thanks so much for the update. We appreciate it.